You could probably put a little bit more. I'm gonna fill mine in with raspberries too. You could put it a little bit thicker if you wanted to, if you guys have enough curd, but I'm saving your curd for you. I'll lay these flat. You all doing jam too, or just raspberries?
We're putting the curd and then the raspberries on top of it.
Like the, okay.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Do we have to make the curd go up to because you know how you put two layers of piping?
Get a hot one.
Yeah, like.
You could do. I always do 2 just to be safe. You don't have to fill in the whole thing now.
Okay.
You could do, but you could go a little bit higher than I did. I'm just being conservative with the curd because we don't have that much of it. But you could go between the 2 of you guys. You could split it up and you could do a little bit
I think
more. Yeah.
doing the whole 2 layers is too much, right? Like it's too,
A little bit, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I would go right below. If you do 2 walls, I would go like 1.5 times up the height. All right.
How long does the curd last?
It's like pastry cream, so technically you shouldn't really keep it more than 3 days was the eggs, and you have to refrigerate it. So I don't care that like the wall's a little bit higher, my cake will be a little lower, but when I push, at least the wall will come out versus having the lemon curd come out, you know, or the key lime curd. This is where my chunk of cake was gone, but as long as I have lined up my other edge, I'm okay. I'm pressing down nice and firm. Now if you cut, like this middle layer was a little weird, that edge, I don't know what it was, but when I'm soaking now, you have to kind of adapt to it. So I told you to divide up the soak, but if you feel that the cake layer is a little bit thinner or more fragile or more delicate, especially these inside layers, this inside layer that's gonna have the curd in between, which adds moisture, you can go a little bit lighter on the soak in the middle, you know? I'd rather save, this is thicker, I'd rather save for the top. I'm also just dotting it this time because it is so fragile. I think I didn't need any more syrup. Okay. Now I'm gonna do my wall again. I'm gonna start on that side that's not so pretty. Use the turntable, it's pretty easy. You've seen people use the record players as a turntable, like so it moves. You can set the speed. It's kind of cool.
Oh, it's on.
Yeah, it's like it just like turns for you, and you can pipe as you turn. All right.
Can we use like the buttercream on the second layer?
Sure. I'd use it maybe on the bottom layer because it's going to be firmer than the top layer. Or you could, why you want to do that?
I don't know. I feel like it's too much.
Too much lime.
Yeah, too much lime.
Well, you have the front, you're going to do thin, it's really good, I really like it. But they're going to be thin layers. I think it'll be okay. You'll be okay, just don't put too much.
First is lime, you just lime.
Well, the other thing I can show you, well, how you can top it's kind of nice, is to ice the whole cake. And if you guys have curd left over, you can save a little bit and put a little bit of curd on the very top of the cake and pipe around it so you see the curd like it's like a open face kind of thing. I'll ice my cake and tell you what I'm talking about. Describe it better. Okay. Flip this guy. Make sure it's level. My board to press down a little bit. And use the rest of your syrup. And if you feel like you don't have enough, then a little bit more. I think this is like exactly what we need. I also did a little bit less than the alcohol called for, so that'll reduce your amount. I'd say you need 250 grams of syrup, so, but don't worry about it. If you get to the top and you feel like you didn't have enough in there, just put a little more simple syrup in, it's okay. Okay, so icing again on the turntable without trimming the sides. We're not gonna trim the sides down, right? This is a 10-inch cake, so you have less space around the outside than we did when we had the 9. Make sure there's no crumbs. Make sure the cake is centered, right? First start with your buttercream on the top. dollop. Now you guys have a long straight spatula, yeah, flat one, right? This is the longest one. This is what I have on a straight one. The flat one can work really good when you're working back and forth on a cake. It's better if you decide to do cakes. The longer the spatula, the better, even for doing round cake. I'm going to show you what I mean. Use a short one. I'll start with this because this is what you have. You're going to press the buttercream around, right, on the outside. Smooth it out to the edges. But it takes more time to do that, and you have less surface area than if you have a long spatula where you can set your spatula up in the center and turn the cake and get a really flat top that way. So utilize your turntable, right? Your buttercream should be nice and not as fluffy as the first time we worked with them, because since when you reconstitute and you heat them, you get some of the air pockets out. So you should have a little bit of a smoother buttercream. All right, how do we do the sides? You're not going to apply the same way. This time you're going to turn the spatula, pick up the buttercream, okay? Sorry you can't see me, but lay it on, go on that side so you can see me. It's okay. It's okay. Lay it on the side like so. Okay, so pick up the buttercream, lay it on the side. Okay? Go around the whole cake. Try not to pick up the crumbs. I'm applying so much on, just like when we did it the other way in your hand, so much on the side of it that you won't pick up any crumbs and you don't see any cake throw. Now, alternatively, when you're doing a lot of cakes in production, they even make tips, big flat, like basket weaving tips, or big flat wide tips that you can pipe around the cake. So this, uses up more. I'll show you. You could fill in your buttercream that way around the whole cake. Well, this is also a very sloppy zigzag thing that we learned in Mod 4 that you might have seen. But this is just to get the buttercream on the cake, right? Not meant to be pretty. All right, so that goes pretty quick too, right? If you had to do a lot of them. Now you have a lot of excess, so now you need to smooth this out. So remember this part where you had to turn the turntable and hold your spatula? I like using my bench scraper to do the final one, but this part you have to use your spatula still because you need to remove some of the excess. It's the only problem with maybe this. You pipe it on really quick, but you're left with a lot, so you have to kind of remove some. But that was it. That was pretty good. Okay, then either your metal bench scraper or your plastic bowl scraper, right? Flat side, right up against your turntable at an angle, so not 90 degrees to the cake, 45. Hold it up to the side and turn. You don't have to go too fast. Turn and swipe off when you get to the final section. And the lines here are when I hesitated. So the smoother you can go, more continuous circle you can go, the smoother the sides will be. All right? So far so good? Now the top. So I'm gonna just stick with this since this is what you guys have. But you could use, do you have your long offset? I want to show you what you could use with your tools. So you could use this if you only had this. You remember that we just used the side of it, right? And you pulled inwards. And then you pulled inwards to scrape the cake. I have a little thing there, but I don't have to worry about it right now. Still has a sticker on it. Hilarious. Okay. Alright, well that's what I want you to see. So this works well because again it's a large surface area, and you take the inside of the cake and you pull it towards you. The outside of the buttercream and you pull it towards you. Same kind of idea, but it gives you a longer reach. So a little bit of an angle off the edge, not swooping down, trying to just line up at the edge and swoop. Just kind of gets it done quicker because you have more surface area. Right? Turning, turning, turning. Okay. If you, press too hard and mess up your side, I know I really didn't want to do that, but if you do that, and I have to do that to show you, then the way to fix that is you have to go back to the side, straighten the top edge, right? And then go back and fix the top. So you always fix the side first and then go back and fix the top. Okay? All right. Then you can choose to do the coconut on the sides or the almonds on the sides or whatever you want on the sides. I don't know if they sent us coconut chocolate, but I'll go get coconut because I gave that as an idea. Then you're going to get to this point and you're going to fridge it, and we're going to work on piping. I would like you guys to still practice writing on the tops of the cake, so don't put anything on the center of your cakes. But what I was explaining was, you could pipe on top of this. If you had enough curd, you can, once this is chilled, you could flood the center of this with curd and then pipe your border around it. So you have like white on the sides and lemon or orange or whatever. So that's an option. You could still pipe